to jump in here on military retirement. The ink isn't even dry on this thing, and already there's some kerfuffle about military retirement. It sounded like Murray wants to backtrack on it. Also sounds like in the pointing of fingers, they're saying it was your idea. So can you clear it up?
Sure. First of all, it's an idea we got from the defense community because they have big problems with their budget going forward. Just like the domestic budget has an entitlement problem that's eating up the rest of the budget, defense has an entitlement problem that's eating up the rest of their budget because of their pension and their benefits are really exploding in the out years. And so we wanted fairness between civilian retirees and military retirees. Civilians have a different kind of a retirement system than the military does. And so what we did with civilians is we asked them to contribute more of their paycheck toward their defined benefit pension. Civilians have, civilian public employees have a 401k with the match, a defined benefit pension, and health care. They don't have a COLA at all if they retire before the age of 62. And they do contribute some toward their pension, and now we're having them contribute more. The military doesn't contribute toward their pension. They don't have a paycheck payroll deduction toward their pension, and they do have a COLA before they're 62. What this provision does, and it's not something we just made up, it's something that's been on the table for years. Bowles Simpson eliminated the COLA completely in an attempt to help the defense budget. It's an idea that's been around a long time. What this says is, for a military retiree who's still working age population, less than 20% of military retirees actually get military retirement because they put the full 20 years in. If you put your 20 years in and you're not 62, what most people do is they go get another job and then they have their military pension on top of that. During that time, they would have a COLA, but it wouldn't be as fast as after they're turned 62. It would be a consumer price index minus 1%. So for instance, for a 38-year-old, you would get 6% less than you'd otherwise get for that period of time before you're 62. If you're a 49-year-old, you get 3% less. Then when you turn 62, your benefit is recalculated to bump your pay back up to what it otherwise would be had that provision not occurred, and then your pension grows at CPI after 62 years old like it does today. It's a very mild reform aimed at giving the Pentagon some relief on their budget, and all those savings stay in the Pentagon's budget. We couldn't give the military back as much as they wanted with the sequester relief, so we gave them more relief on this side of their budget to help them with their what we call their top line. It wasn't intended to get a disabled retiree caught up in this. So that's the fix that Patty's talking about, which is we'll do a technical correction sometime early next year to make sure that a person who doesn't actually go back and work and have two jobs, or a job and a pension because they're disabled, isn't affected by this. The reason we put a 2-year delay in this provision in this bill was to make that this isn't the settled policy. So this has a 2-year delay in it, so that the current military commission on benefits and pay, which is it's a big problem with the military's budget, they give us their report I think in May or March, to give time to review that and to have 2 defense authorization bills between now and when this provision becomes effective to readdress this issue if Congress chooses to do it in a different way. It's the mildest form of military pension reform of any idea I've seen out there. And it maintained that balance between saving on the civilian retirement side and saving on the military retirement side. And that's why it's in here.